Hi crocheters of the world! In this tutorial I want to show you how to crochet loafers for babies. It's a 0 to 6 months size, this that I made. I am working actually, I work on this project with a 4mm hook and a medium thickness acrylic yarn, and mine are 11 centimeters. Sorry, you cannot see, so from here to here it's 11 centimeters. This means that are okay for 0 to 6 month babies. Now of course if you want to make them, so actually 3 to 6, okay, so for a really new baby born, maybe they are a little bit bigger, so but just a little bit. So if you want to work it with a smaller yarn, you will just have the right size for a new baby born. And if you will work it with a larger yarn and hook, you will have a larger loafer. Okay, now we need for each of our shoe loafer we need we need 2 soles. So I have here 1 and we need 2. Okay, so as you can see we have one color on the outside and another color on the inner part of the shoe, and this gives a nice shape to our little loafer. Okay, now let us begin. We will have the constants, so the constant part will be of 12 single crochets, will be these 2 sides. Oops, sorry, I am out of the camera. Okay, so these 2 parts and the turning parts, which are these 2, and these will be the parts that we will increase, but we will repeat the same thing, so we will report the same thing from one part to another, will be the same increasing same number of stitches and increases. Okay, so let us begin. I want to chain 12, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 plus 1, and when I say 12 plus 1, this means that we will have 12 stitches and 1 will be the turning chain. Okay, so insert the hook into the second chain from the hook, so this is 1 and 2, and begin to work your single crochets first side, because we will work on the other side of the chain. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. Okay, now into the last chain where we just worked the 12th single crochet, we will put 2 more single crochets for the turning part. So this part, 1 and 2, so into the same last chain, and we want to turn it like this, and we want to work on the opposite side of the chain into the loops that remain unworked, another 12 single crochets, and we will begin with the very first single crochet into the last chain actually. So this means that we will have 4 single crochet into this last chain. So the first is the 12th of the first round of single crochets. Then we'll have 2 for the turning stitches, turning part of the sole, and now we will have another one more, so the 4th actually, into the same chain for the first of our 12 on the opposite side, and then we work 2 into the loops remaining unworked. 3, 4, I'm working the tail too, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we want to work the turning part too, so we will put 2 more single crochets into the same chain. And this is the turning part, which must be the same with the other turning part. Okay, now insert the hook into the very first single crochet and slip stitch to join. Now let us begin the second part. So if you notice, we work 2 equally parts. The first is 12 plus the turning chains, and the second is 12 plus the other turning chains. Okay, it's the same thing. So I will work now only 12 plus turning chain, and then you will repeat the other part of 12 and turning chain by yourself, because I don't want to make a very long tutorial. Okay, now chain 1, and let us begin, as I said, with our first 12 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now into our 2 turning chains, in each of them we will put an increase, so we will work 2 stitches into each of it. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets into the first, and into the second the same thing, 1 and 2. Now repeat the same thing to the end of the round, then slip stitch to join into the very first single crochet. So 12 single crochets plus into the last 2 stitches, turning stitches here, put an increase in each of them. I finished my second round. We have so the constants, 12 on one side, 12 on the other side, and on the turning part now we have 4, because into our 2 stitches of the turning part of the sole, we in each of these 2 stitches we worked a increase. So now we have 4 and 4. Okay, now let us begin the third round. We have a total of 5 rounds for this sole. Now chain 1 and work your 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now we have the 4 turning stitches here, so we will work like this. Into the very first we work a single crochet. Into the second we work an increase, so 1 and 2. Into the third we work an increase 2, 1 and 2 stitches into the same stitch, and into the fourth and the last we work a single crochet. And now we have 6 because we added, with the 2 increases, we added 2 more stitches. So we have 6 turning stitches. Now repeat this part. 12 plus the turning part, slip stitch to join. Just one thing I want to tell you, that here we chain 1 and work the single crochet into the very first single crochet of the previous round. So you have to pay attention when you slip stitch that here is a chain. So it's the chain stitch, not a single crochet, okay? So it's very important. Now repeat the same thing. So 12 single crochets plus the 6 single crochets worked on the 4 turning stitches. I finished my third round, 2, and now I have, of course, my constants, 12 on one side, 12 on the other side, single crochets, of course, and on the turning part I have 6 and 6. So from 4 stitches we added 2 more stitches, so we have 6 and 6. Now let us begin the fourth round. Chain 1 and work into the very first single crochet, the first single crochet, and then go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now this is the first constants, the first side, and now we have our 6 turning stitches, and we will work like this. Into the first we work first 2, we work in each of them 1 single crochet, so 1 single crochet into the first, 1 single crochet into the second, 1 increase into the third, 1 increase into the fourth, so 2 stitches together, 1 single crochet into the 5th stitch, and another 1 single crochet into the 6th. And we added, with our 2 increases, we added 2 more stitches, so now we have 8 turning stitches. Okay, repeat 12 single crochets plus 8 worked as we worked these 2, plus slip stitch to join into the first single crochet. So I almost finished my fourth round. I just wanted to show you what I said to you first, that we have here the chain. So is this the single crochet, the first single crochet, where we have to slip stitch to join, okay, after we finished all the increases that we have here on the turning, so all the stitches actually, not only the increases that we have to work for the turning stitches. And this is the chain, okay, and here is the single crochet that we want to insert the hook and slip stitch to join the round. Okay, so this is the fourth round, and we have 1 more round to finish the sole. I have already worked my first one, my external one is this, and you need 1 more identical sole, so the same thing, okay, just you need 2. Okay, so the last round, chain 1. Now we have 8 single crochets on one part and the other part of the turning stitches, and of course our 12 stitches here on one side and the other side of the sole actually. Okay, chain 1, and let us work our first 12 single crochets of the constant part. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now on our 8 stitches we will work like this. Into the first, an increase. So an increase, 1 and 2 into the first of our 8 turning stitches. Then into the second and the third, 1 single crochet into each of them. So 1 into the second, 1 into the third stitch. Into the fourth, an increase, 1 and 2 stitches. Into the fifth, an increase, 1 and 2 stitches together. Into the sixth and the seventh, 1 single crochet in each of them. So 1 single crochet into the seventh stitch and 1 single crochet into the sixth, and 1 single crochet into the seventh stitch. Into the eighth and the last stitch of the turning stitches, put an increase. So we increased 4 times. This means that we added to our 8 stitches that we had, we added 4 stitches, which means that we have now a total of 12 stitches as we have for the constants. So we have 12 stitches on the turning part of the sole, and we have 12 stitches on the constant part side. Okay, now repeat the same thing. So 12 plus on the 8 turning chain, work the same thing that we worked here to obtain, of course, the same number of stitches, so 12. At the end of the last round, we'll have a total of 12 per 4, which means 48 stitches, 48 single crochets. Now slip stitch to join, chain 1 for the secure knot and cut the yarn. Okay, now we finished with the sole. So as I said, you need 2 equally. Yes. And now again with the main color, switch to a little bit larger hook. So I will work this round with a 4.5. I'm working my project with a 4mm hook, and I want to work this round because it is the round that we join together the 2 soles with slip stitch, and that's why I will working with a 4.5mm hook, because in these slip stitches I want to work my first round of my show. No, we don't slip stitch, we don't slip knot. Okay, now insert the hook into the very first single crochet of this sole with the right side facing you, and also with the right side facing you, so like this. Okay, now we have, this is the wrong side, and the wrong side remain on the outside. So insert the hook into the same single crochet where you slip stitch to join the round, and put the tails here in between them. We just want to work them inside. We don't need them anymore. Okay, now fold it like this and we obtain a loop. Put the loop on the hook and pull the hook with the loop through these 2 single crochets. Now keep tightly the tail here and insert the hook into the second single crochet of the first and the second single crochet of the next, but just be attentive to be the second, okay, on one part, one sole on the other one, and slip stitch. Now do the same thing into each of your single crochets of 1 and the other sole to join them together, of course. Okay, work it very loosely. Okay, now like this, very, very, very loosely, because if you don't, you'll have problems with your first single crochet round of the shoe. Okay, now don't skip any single crochet, neither on one sole nor on the other sole. Okay, so it's very important not to skip any. Very, very, very important. Okay, when you finish it, just count the stitches. You must have, definitely must have 48 slip stitches. If you don't have 48 slip stitches, it's a huge problem. I am not joking. I am really, really seriously here. Talking seriously here. You must have 48 stitches. Okay, go on all around. I will be back to show you how to slip stitch, so how to finish this round and to begin the other round. There will be the first round of the show, will be a single crochet round. I almost finished my round. I have 47 slip stitches, and now I just want to show you how to finish the round. You will insert the hook into the very first, where you began working the slip stitch round here. When you join the yarn and work the last slip stitch. Okay, cut the yarn, pull, not very tight, and from the back side try to put the tail here, and then later on we will wave these two ends. Okay, now with the same color, change the hook. Don't forget to change the hook. This is the main hook. Okay, it is 4 millimeters hook. Now we want to work, let's decide which one is the back side of the show, but it's okay, it's one of it, it's not important. Just try to insert the hook from the outside, as you can see. So I don't have like this the sole, but like this. Okay, so it's important because we want to work this round with the right side facing us. So just try to align it a little bit to see where is the middle, and divide it in half and insert the hook into the one of these two here. Okay, join the color, actually the same color, but the yarn for this first single crochet round of the show, and work single crochet, 48 single crochets in our 48 slip stitches. And that's why I said you to work loosely, because it's important for this first round. So insert the hook and work each slip stitch. Into each slip stitch work a single crochet. Okay, if you have problems and maybe one of your slip stitches is very, very tight, you just take a smaller hook and just to help you to insert the hook in it, okay, like this. But you have to work it with the 4 millimeters hook, okay? So just to help you to insert the hook. Okay, it's a trick, let's say. I always work like this, so when I have problems and I can't insert the hook into a slip stitch or a stitch that I worked very tight, I always take a hook, a smaller hook, and I don't waste time to. Okay, just go on and work 48 single crochets. So 48 single crochets. I finished my first round of single crochets. I counted my single crochets, so I know that I have 48, so please count your stitches and slip stitch then into the first. Now for the second round of the loafer, you just chain and turn and work 48, not single crochets but half double crochets. Okay, like this. So half double crochets, 1 half double crochet in each of our single crochets of the first round for a total of 48 half double crochets. Okay, just go on and work your last round of the show, because it's the last of the loafer of the shoe, because it's the last. Then we will just make this little flap and join it on the front side, and we are ready. Of course, if you want to put the little barrette here or stripe, you will put the stripe, or you can let it just like this. I like them like this too.